Welcome to the Real View podcast, where Ohio Realtors connect you to innovators and influencers, keeping you with the real view of real estate. Whether you're a broker, agent, first-time homebuyer, industry leader, or just happen to stumble upon our podcast today, you can expect to hear tips, tools, tricks, interesting information, and so much more from the experts in Ohio's real estate game. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real View podcast. I am your host, Allison Wiley. Joining me today, we are continuing our preview of this year's annual Convention Expo, which is coming up so quickly, September 15th to 17th in Cleveland. And we're taking this time throughout these next couple weeks to feature some of our amazing speakers that we have joining us. I would like to welcome onto the show today, Amy Chorew. She is joining us, going to be here to present two different sessions, and we are going to dive into a little bit about her sessions, what you can expect, what she's got planned for us. We were just chatting before we started recording, and it's going to be an awesome couple days, especially with her leading two of our sessions, of our CEs for us. But before we get started in that, I would like to first welcome you onto the show, Amy, and learn a little bit more about you. Could you tell us a little bit about how you got started in real estate and tell us about your career journey? What's led you to where you are today?
It's short and sweet, but it's good. I actually met my husband in college, and he was hired to run for a developer subdivisions in Connecticut. So I moved from New York into Connecticut. We built 12 subdivisions from 1987 to about 2004. I built everything from condos to luxury homes. I literally can drive central Connecticut and go, we built that street, we built that. So that was my life until early 2000s. And then, of course, the crazy markets started happening. But I was bored. And I think teams had been around, would do that. But I went back to school to learn how to write courseware. I learned about instructional design and adult learning theory, and I applied those principles and started training, and it blew up. It was like a secret sauce that no one had ever thought about. So that's how I got in. I still sell now. I only do maybe 4 to 6 transactions a year, but it keeps me grounded. I think if you're training, if you're not experienced what everyone's going through, you shouldn't be speaking on a stage.
No, so true. And that's what I love about so many of these convention speakers that we have joining us is you guys are so involved. You're not just doing these trainings and are removed from the market and have no idea, what's going on, or are just preaching this and, without any knowledge of truly being, on the ground, boots on the ground and, in it and immersed in it. So that's what I think is the really cool thing about having you come on, as you just perfectly explained. You do have a good pulse on what's going on in the industry and can kind of give some really practical advice because, we're in different times. I mean, where do you see the market right now? What is your perspective of things? Give us kind of your insider look into what you see going on right now.
Okay, thanks for your question. We're still being impacted by inventory, pricing, generations. The different generations are coming in to buy totally different. They come from a different place. So we, as real estate professionals, have to make sure that we know how to articulate who we are, what we do to everybody. I think some of the things I'm, of course, seeing is some of the things that are happening with the NAR situation and our state and local. I find that agents are going towards their state and local associations looking for what they need. So that's really good for you. I hope that makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of issues out there. We still have the stuff with the lawsuit, but learning how to articulate in our new world, I'm surprised that there's still agents who don't understand the power of that. So that's one of the sessions we'll be talking about. And then some of the big issues out there. For me, these large companies that are buying up all the real estate, which is tough. For me, that's one thing I've seen. And just making sure that we're coming from a place of integrity and staying above board and professional. So, with everything going on, that's just so important right now. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no. That totally did, and it was kind of a perfect segue into your sessions. You mentioned the first class you're going to be with us for is going to be Monday afternoon, 2 to 3 o'clock. Craft your winning value proposition with AI. Attracts today's consumers and turn them into clients for life, which is so true. And we were just chatting before we started the show about AI and just the impact that it's going to have. And I know you're going to talk a lot about that in both of your sessions. And I think it's going to be, really great insights and so important. And it's just the buzz around the industry, right? Is AI, what does it mean? What is the impact it's going to have on our industry? So I can't wait to hear, a little bit from that with you. That's going to be really great. And then you mentioned your second session, which is going to be Tuesday morning, 9:45 to 10:45, communication strategies for brokerage success. 6 steps to strengthen agent connection. And I mean, as we're talking just now about everything happening, that what we went through last year with the settlement, communication is so important right now. And to hear you focusing on that, how brokerages can be talking to their agents, because that is just such a critical part of when you're trying to operate any sort of business. So that's going to be in a really amazing session too. Talk to me a little bit about your thought process of these two courses, why they're so important. I know we just talked a little bit about them, but why they're both so important and what you're hoping to share with our attendees during these sessions.
For the value prop, first of all, we need to be able to articulate who we are, what we do, and we need to make sure that we're telling everyone who knows and loves us. So as soon as they hear about someone thinking of buying something, they contact us. Critical. We can't be silent. But saying that, some of the things that are happening out there is people are starting to search for real estate professionals on the LLMs, the chat tools like ChatGPT and Gemini. So it's almost like Google is going away. I'm going to address that. And I have a prompt for agents and for brokers to see, how does the public see you? How do your clients see you? So important. But then also, what is the right way to put a prompt in? I'm actually showing you how to design one from one of the people who started OpenAI. Like, everyone just goes in there and does silly things, but there is a science behind it. Once you understand that, very simple, you can create amazing different prompts. I'm going to share that, and I'm actually going to give a whole list of prompts. We only have an hour, so they're going to take home a worksheet and be able to create their value prop and how to articulate it to the consumers and how to market it. So that's cool. But on the broker side, even more, we're going to do some research on using some AI tools on how to better communicate with our salespeople. We are always so crazy busy. And when we need something, we need it now. So, how can a broker make sure that an agent knows where to find what so they stay connected with the brokerage? But on top of that, there are ways to communicate to agents. It starts from massive communication down to the one on one. And I'm going to share 6 ways that you can communicate with your agents so they stay with you, stay happy, stay informed, and are successful. That's it.
It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, no, that's gonna be amazing. Two relevant, on times, just so important to what is going on in this industry. Right now, you're going to be addressing that. The AI stuff, as we mentioned, so fascinating. And the fact that you're going to be giving people practical ways to implement and use it, I think is really great, because that's one of the things that I hear is like, yes, we know it's out there, we know it exists, but where do I even start with it? Like how do I even go about using this in my day-to-day business? And I was at a conference a couple weeks ago, and they said, AI is not going to replace you, but people using AI will replace you. And I was like, that just stuck in my head. And I'm like, that is so true. And is that something you're finding as well? Are you kind of using it in your own business and personal life? And
Yeah. And it's interesting. One thing about when I teach, I never teach anything that I don't do myself.
Mhm.
That's why I got into training. I would go to classes and I think this is great. And I would try what the trainer said, and it didn't work. So I don't talk about anything I don't actually do myself. So that's the power of what I'll be sharing. But yes, I use it all the time. But now that I've been trained on how to really use it, I use different tools for different things. So it's pretty cool. And the one thing I'll share is that brokerages, associations, I'm going to share this too in that class, are creating their own GPTs. What do I mean?
Mm.
So you can take all of your information, let's say from your company, and feed it in and have someone create your own GPT. So it shows up on ChatGPT or Gemini, and it doesn't go out to the web to get information. It just uses what you put in. So could you imagine if, or association or broker said, so what are our, how do I market and how do I get my house marketed? And they can get it at 10 p.m. at night from what you put in. Like that's where AI is going. So we'll share that.
It's so cool. It's so crazy. And I think just, the more people have easy ways to use it, I hope the less, intimidating agents will be by using, getting to use it, learning a little bit more about it, sharing those practical ways that you can walk away and do it, when you get back to your room later that night or whatever, that's going to be really the cool part of that. And I think hopefully where the big learning will come is, we want to make sure our realtors are getting the tools they need to move forward, in today's industry. And so much of that is what's going to be happening with AI. So it should be really cool, really exciting. This episode of The Real View is brought to you by the Ohio Association of Community Colleges. Ohio's network of community colleges provides accessible training that accommodates the busy lifestyles of aspiring real estate professionals at half the price of a traditional university. With convenient locations in every part of the state, as well as online options, Ohio's community colleges are your smart choice for pre-licensing education. For more details or to start the journey to a real estate career, visit the education page at ohiorealtors.org and then click on the pre-license course locations. Walk us through, how do you prepare for your classes? What kind of stuff are you doing behind the scenes? You kind of shared a little bit that, everything you're teaching, you're experiencing yourself. What's your methodology, your approach to preparing and being ready to instruct your classes?
So it's so funny that you asked that. When I went back to school and learned about instructional design and adult learning theory, there are ways that students learn, and it's not audio, visual, and kinesthetic. It's deeper, and it's not your personality, but there's 4 ways people learn. And when I write my materials, I make sure that I touch all the learning styles, and that's kind of my secret sauce. So when someone comes to a class, they will learn something because I'm not just teaching information; I'm teaching it to how they learn. So you do a loop. So that's how I am prepping. And I'm interviewing past students and other for the broker class. I'm reaching out to brokers that I have taught this information to see if there's any updates. So just interviewing people to make sure that I've got everything up to date. What are some of the cooler, newer things they're doing? And then, of course, practice, practice.
Always. Well, and who we have coming to our conventions, especially our CE speakers, you guys are the best of the best. You're selected by, a committee of members here who are very involved, who know what they want out of the conference, out of guests we have coming out of our, CE courses that we're offering. So, I mean, congratulations to you for being picked not once, but twice. And especially, that broker specific one. One of the things we've been trying to focus on really is just supporting those brokers and making sure that, they are seeing value with their membership at Ohio Realtors, that they're seeing us as a true partner in that. So hopefully, offering some broker specific courses like yours, hopefully that will, help build up that relationship and help brokers get what they need too. Because I think, if you hear from NAR, that was one of the things, brokers were left out of a lot of conversations, and even at the state and local level, like we have to be bringing our brokerages along, and you guys are the ones who are responsible for getting that information out to your clients. So I love that you're doing a broker specific class. I think that's going to be awesome.
Think about this. A mentor once said to me, don't reinvent, implement. Like we're constantly chasing the next fancy thing and adding more to our budget, but slow down, go and look at all the resources you have. Go to Ohio Realtors, see what they have. Go if you're a broker, go to your branch or whoever you're aligned with, or if you're a independent, even more. Go and see what they have, and that's the beautiful thing. An association will help a broker implement things.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. We really try. And like you said, talking to our brokers, having those conversations, asking if they're getting what, they need. We want that same dialogue that it sounds like, you've implemented, and keeping those lines of conversation open, I think it's going to go a long way, and may be able to help kind of repair or at least pave a new way forward from, everything that's led us up to this point today. So, shout out to you for offering some broker specific information. We're happy to be able to provide that to Ohio Realtors. What are you looking forward to most at the convention? And talk to us a little bit just about, we obviously know you're passionate about teaching and instructing and being educated, but what are you looking forward to about convention? And what's your thoughts and opinions on CE and making sure that you're staying up to date and attending courses like this that can help you?
Okay, what I'm looking forward to is being a speaker in this great country. I know many people in Ohio, so I'm already getting coffee dates and drink dates, and it'll be fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing my Ohio people. I also, believe it or not, I want to take a gander around Cleveland because I haven't been there in a while, and it's an amazing city. So I'm going to take a little personal time and see some of the sites, the things that I want to see. But for CE, we have to take it. It helps keep us professional. And I love that you're doing it at the convention because this is a place where for me, it's not just going to the classes. We call it the lobby con, right? You run into someone, you talk, you have a problem, they give you a solution. So if you're thinking about going to convention, you're going to go and you're going to meet new people, you're going to see people and they're not your competitors anymore. At that point, they're sharing ideas. And then if you can get CE on top of it, like amazing. And not everyone does that. Ohio is unique in many states. I'm other places we're not doing that. So kudos to you.
Oh, thank you so much. And it really is, such a great opportunity. Yes, you can, check your box off with the CE classes. But the true richness of it is, like you mentioned, those conversations that are happening, the people that you can meet, just mixing and mingling with, like you said, real estate is very unique in the sense that, like, we're all kind of like competing against each other, but yet we all have to work with each other and do deals with each other. So it's kind of, really a unique relationship that you can build with attendees of this conference. And I agree with you on Cleveland. Cleveland is an amazing city. It's probably our highest attended convention. So we'll have over 1,000 realtors there from all across the state. You'll meet people from, Cincinnati, Columbus, State, and Toledo, everywhere, which is really exciting to see. And yeah, Cleveland's an awesome city.
Some good food. I have some recommendations, and of course, the water. And
Yeah. Where's your favorite places to eat in Cleveland or favorite foods up there?
oh my gosh, remember off the top of my head, I just got a text from somebody, and I haven't even looked. I go, "Where should we go?" I don't remember. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I know you said it's been a while since you've been up there, but no, the food is great. It's all a very Polish influence. Like it's like the sausages and the pierogies and the sauerkrauts, and that's like what I love. I love pork and sauerkraut. It's kind of what I part of my heritage that I grew up on. So if you like that kind of stuff, the Cleveland culture and food cuisine up there is pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that too. And yeah, I mean the hotel we're staying at right on Lake Erie. I mean those views. It's the best. It's the best. So no, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to meeting you, having you there, Amy, with us, and just yeah, mixing and mingling with everybody. One last bit of advice: what you want attendees to know coming to convention, coming to your sessions specifically. Send us off with speaking to either new first time attendees, agents and brokers who've been coming to this thing for 20 years. What would your advice be to them coming to convention and joining you at your sessions?
Go to sessions with the idea of getting at least 1 to 3 ideas and stay focused. Stay off your phone, stay focused. If they give you materials, take them. And honestly, I record the sessions. I use Otter on my phone. I just record what they're saying so I can listen to it later, kind of like a podcast.
Yeah.
Then implement at least a couple things from the conference because you're going to get some great ideas. But then don't be afraid to LobbyCon, connect with people, share. I've gotten some of my most brilliant ideas for my business. You'll laugh, but this was just a couple years ago. I do investment properties, and I was talking about how I want to get out of the day to day. And it's actually someone in Ohio that I'm working with. They told me about passive. So sitting in the lobby of this hotel, and they tell me about passive investments, how they buy these apartment buildings that are like C or B, and they buy them for a certain amount, and then people put money in, and then you can get the money out within 3 to 4 years. It changed my life. I was able to get rid of some of my rentals, and now I make income by someone else doing all the crazy work. So that's an idea. And actually, it happened in Ohio. So there you go.
That's amazing. And that was just from a conversation and attending a convention.
Because I had a problem. I was getting tired of some of the tenants, I don't want to I want to stay in the real estate. How can I still create passive income? And it was great.
That's amazing. And what a perfect example of what we've just been talking about. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't even know that this solution existed until you brought it up, spoke with your peers. We are all going through this, same market, the same challenges, the same opportunities. And that's where that magic happens, where you get to learn and grow with everyone, having those conversations, sharing the similar growing pains and successes, at the same time. You knew someone who, hey, this worked really well for them. And you were able to take that and implement it, on your end. And it's been able to really grow and help your business. And that's just the great thing about these conventions. And, what I know is going to be happening throughout those hallways at the expo and at the Hilton Hotel. So it's really going to be a great time coming up so soon. I was on our website the other day and it said 90 days. And I was like, what? Already? But we are so excited. We can't wait. Make sure you register now. It is live on ohiorealtors.org/convention. You can find the full CE schedule with Amy's classes in there. Make sure to circle those as you're planning on what to attend. All of our networking events, our evening receptions, all of that you can find on the website. And like Amy said, make sure to take advantage of it. Stay off your phone, be present, learn and grow. There's such an amazing opportunity ahead, and we hope to see you all there. And Amy, thank you so much for joining me. We can't wait to see you in Cleveland, and we're excited for your sessions.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. See you in Cleveland.
And to all of you guys listening, thanks so much for tuning in. We will be back with you next week. Tune in for more from our convention speakers. We are so excited to listen and get to know a little bit more about them. And make sure you get registered for convention. We will see you guys and talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to The Real View. That wraps up today's episode. You can keep up with the latest on the podcast at ohiorealtors.org/therealview and on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Have questions, comments, or suggestions? We want to hear from you. Email us at podcast@ohiorealtors.org. We'll see you next time.